Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to try a brand new foundation from KVD Vegan Beauty. This is the new Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation. I want to compare it and give you my thoughts to the Good Apple Original Foundation that went crazy viral on TikTok. So I'm going to be doing a demo, wear test, and giving you close-ups, no filters, my initial first impression, and then of course we'll see how it wears throughout the day. I will link this down below if I can. We'll get into that as well. And then all the other makeup that I'm wearing in my description box. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. I do a ton of makeup content. If you're excited and you love first impressions and foundation reviews, give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, let's talk about the product before we get into the demo. This is the KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation. It retails for $42. You get 1 ounce and there are 40 shades. Now, I got this on the KVD Vegan Beauty, I hate saying that, the KVD website, and it's saying coming soon now. So I'm not sure because I know a lot of people got their hands on this. I posted it on my community tab and Instagram. So if you want to turn on my notifications, I usually try to be on top of new releases. I feel like lately we're having a lot of drops and then they're taking them off the website. So somebody is releasing things a little bit early. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. It says it's coming to Sephora and Ulta on February 6th. So the packaging looks like this. This is the box that it comes in. Again, you do get 1 ounce, which is standard for most foundations. This was also made in Italy and it has a 12-month shelf life. So let's talk about the actual bottle, which is absolutely stunning. It's very similar in terms of like the design to the original, but this is plastic. This is glass, so much more of a luxurious feel, which of course we all love. Each side looks identical, but then the cap is plastic and you do have a pump. I picked up the color medium 30. I wasn't sure, but they do have swatches on the website. And when I was reading, it did say to stay close to your original Good Apple. I have originally medium 42, which is a little bit too warm and a little bit too deep. So I feel like looking at this, it does look like it's going to be a good match. So this is what the texture's like. Feels very light. I was almost thinking serum, that it was going to feel thick and emollient, almost like skincare, but this feels very light. Coverage looks really high. So let's talk about the claims. They describe this as full coverage, natural finish, transfer proof, extreme long wear with a lightweight serum feel, covers everything from blemishes, scars, hyperpigmentation, and more. It's also vegan, cruelty-free, non-comedogenic, no flashback. And then when you compare it to the original, I'm gonna throw a photo up on the screen that I thought was really helpful because it does tell you the difference. So for instance, the new formula they say is best for combo to oily skin, which is me. The original was best for balanced to dry skin. This is supposed to be transfer proof extreme long wear, whereas the original was supposed to be hydrating all day wear. So I'm curious to get this on my face. I want to see how this looks. So let's go ahead and zoom in and try this on. Okay, so I've got you zoomed in. I went ahead and applied my moisturizer, and then I'm gonna take my Glowish primer, and I'm just gonna use this on one side. I wanna see how this foundation does with pores and texture, and then I wanna see how it does with my go-to primer. I have some like marks down here. I don't know why. I think honestly, I'm filming a TikTok of my first impression on this foundation and I have a really bright light on me. And I think I just got hot and flustered. My skin will turn red literally like if the wind blows the wrong way. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with a brush on this side of my face. They do say with a brush, you're gonna get instant full coverage. With a sponge, you'll get buildable full coverage. And I'm gonna use my BK Beauty 106. Definitely really full coverage, I would say. The shade is a little bit yellow and light for my self-tan, but with contour and bronze, we'll make it work. I mean, that is really good coverage. The one thing I'm noticing is that it really doesn't feel emollient or serum-like, which was my fear. I don't like the foundations lately that are just really, really thick and emollient, and this feels very lightweight. I do also agree with the natural finish claim. I like that it's not a flat matte, but it doesn't feel glowy or luminous at all. Okay, so this is the side with the primer and the foundation brush. I'm gonna go in next with a sponge, just a damp beauty blender, and on this side I have no primer. I want to see how much primer makes a difference, if this is a smoothing formula on its own, or if you really would benefit from using a pore smoothing primer. In terms of coverage, it does say that it is a buildable full with a sponge, and I would say I agree. So far, I am really liking this. Thank you. If you're a combo oily skin person, this is exciting because I feel like for the past year, it's literally just been like, dewy! And I'm like, no, I want to be dewy, but it's not going to work for me. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like. I do think that this is a natural finish. I don't feel flat, matte, dry, but I also don't feel overly dewy, so I could see why this is geared towards those of us with combo oily skin. Coverage is insane. If you wanted to sheer it out, definitely use a sponge and use a lot less. This is such full coverage. I do feel like you could even mix this in with like a tinted moisturizer or even a moisturizer if you really wanted a light look, but this definitely feels very much on par with the coverage of the original Good Apple, just much, much lighter on the skin. When I touch my skin, I definitely do feel like I need to set it, but it's not heavy at all. It doesn't feel overly thick, emollient, or skincare-like. So I want to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then see how powder plays with this and give you my initial close-up and initial thoughts, and then we'll go into the wear test. Okay guys, so I went ahead and finished my makeup off camera, but looking at my skin, I feel like it looks really smooth. And comparing the side that I put the primer on and then the side without, I do feel like I look a little bit more matte and perfected on this side, which makes sense because the glowish primer really smooths my pores and also controls oil. That's why I want to do it on one side and then one without. I do want to see if I get oily, if I have breaking apart, if my texture looks enhanced. I don't think that it looks bad on this side by any means, but I definitely do feel like I look a little bit more airbrushed on this side. Thank you, Glowish Blur Jam. When I'm thinking off the top of my head what this reminds me of, I almost want to say the Hourglass Ambient, but a lot more coverage. This, I would say, is a little bit less glowy or radiant, but the coverage is way higher. So it's very, very pigmented, but I could see just upon application the way it feels. Definitely, this is going to be a better option for combo oily skin. If you don't like that heavy, really emollient feel, this is definitely much more of a matte foundation feel without being drying, if that makes sense. Now, I do think this could get cakey, and it could be my fault because honestly, I was applying a lot of the product trying to switch back and forth setups, but I wanna keep an eye on my pore area and see if it starts looking cakey or heavy. I'm getting a late start because my package was due to get here by noon. It got here a little bit before. A plane's going by, I have the window open, your girl's hot. I got all these lights on me. So I started filming a little bit before noon. It is about 1 o'clock now. So I'm gonna try to wear this for about 8 hours-ish. Gonna aim for like 9 p.m. So I think that is everything for my initial first impression and thoughts on how it looks after application. But I will do a check-in here in about 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll do my final check-in at the end of the night. So I'll see you guys in a few hours. Okay guys, so I'm back for my first check-in. It's a little later than I thought. It is 5:40. So I'm noticing a couple very slight things. I have a little bit of oil coming through on my forehead, and I would say, again, a little bit more on the side without the primer. I am noticing maybe a little bit of like dry gathering on my chin where it divots in. So that's something to note. If you have smile lines or anything like that, it might settle. I don't know. I don't have smile lines because I don't smile much. Actually, I do, but not on camera. I got jokes today, apparently. I'm also noticing a little bit of creasing around the nose area. My pores a little bit more enhanced, especially on this side without the primer, but I really feel like it looks nice. It's not moving around. I don't feel like it's heavy. So I think this is a really nice formula so far. But if you have dry skin or even combo skin leaning dry, you may want to opt for a smoothing primer or a glowy primer, because I still do see a little bit of my natural oils peeking through. So I don't find this to be a flat matte. So what I'm gonna do is go on about my day. I'm covered in, makeup and dog hair. Just had some tacos. We're gonna watch some of our Netflix shows, and I'm going to check back in and do like my final check-in around 9 p.m. So it's 5:42 at the moment, so I will see you guys in a few hours. Okay guys, so I'm back for my final check-in. It is 8:54, so almost 9 o'clock. I am looking at my skin and I'm noticing the same things that I mentioned in the 4 or 5 hour check-in mark, which is just a little bit of like heaviness and settling in my pore area, or I guess, I don't know, texture on my chin. And then my pores look a little bit heavy or cakey or oily. So I still think that I look a little bit smoother and more matte on this side with the primer, and then this side is a little bit more glowy. So if you have really oily skin, you still probably want to use a mattifying primer or just something that's going to control your oil, unless you want some oils coming through. This is very minimal oil, and a lot of you may really like that. I'm not noticing any breaking apart, separating. It doesn't feel heavy. So I think it is a nice long wearing formula. I don't know if this is extreme long wear like they claim. I don't think that only combo oily skin types can use this. I think if you're dry or normal to dry, I would just prep your skin with a moisturizer and a glowy primer, glowy setting spray, and you can really customize it. So I think that this is gonna work for a lot of different skin types. So I'm excited to keep testing this out. I do think that I used a little bit too much, and I do think maybe that's contributing to the little bit of that cakey look. It's all a learning curve, and I do tend to be heavy-handed just because I have general redness, so I can't really just spot conceal all over my T-zone and then add a foundation. So a lot of the times I do think that I use a little bit more than I need to because I really want to kind of blank out my redness. So those are my initial thoughts on this foundation. I would love to know if you're picking this up, if you already did. What do you think about how it wore on me? Do you think it's something that would work for you? I would love to hear your opinions down below. I will also have more videos coming of new launches. Hopefully the Charlotte Tilbury blush ones. Also possibly the Danessa Myricks blurring blushes. So keep your eyes peeled for those videos to come. As always, I will link the makeup I'm wearing as well as the foundation and information about it down below in my description box. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.